She makes me believe in tomorrow. Shu Kai reveals plans to retire early for family. A decision that shook the industry, a quiet dream turned promise, and the love that changed everything. In an industry where fame is fleeting and careers burn bright but fast, Shu Kai has always stood out not just for his striking screen presence or award-winning performances, but for the calm, grounded love he has shown for the one person who changed his life forever, Song Yun. And now, in a move that has both stunned fans and moved even his fiercest critics, Shu Kai has announced that he is planning to retire early from acting, all for his family. The confession no one saw coming. It started with a sit-down interview no one expected. Shu Kai had been scheduled to appear briefly on a special family-themed episode of Inside the Frame, a soft, emotional docu-series featuring top stars discussing parenthood and legacy. What was meant to be a 10-minute guest appearance turned into the most vulnerable and honest interview of his career. When asked about his future goals, Shu Kai paused. Then he smiled, soft, quiet, and full of something deeper than fame. "I used to dream about awards, scripts, global stages," he said. "Now, I dream about mornings." The room fell silent. And then came the words that instantly went viral. "She makes me believe in tomorrow. And I want to spend every tomorrow I have with her. With them. So yes. I'm stepping back. For real this time." The internet reacts. This is real love. Within minutes of airing, the interview had already been clipped, captioned, and shared across platforms. Hashtags like #ShuKaiStepsBack, #FamilyFirst, #SheIsMyTomorrow, and #Songyun wins again trended globally. Comments poured in. He gave her his past. Now he's giving her his future. Shu Kai said goodbye to the world to say hello to his family. "I'm not crying, you are. This isn't retirement. This is rebirth." Even fellow celebrities reposted the clip. One actress simply wrote, "I hope we all find a love this safe." A decision years in the making. What many didn't know is that Shu Kai had been thinking about this for over a year. After their painful breakup, viral apology, emotional reunion, and the revelation that Song Yun is expecting their second child, Shu Kai reportedly told a close friend, "I don't want to miss a single heartbeat again. I missed too many before." Friends say he's been slowly declining long-term projects, reducing screen time, and focusing more on writing and personal storytelling. One industry insider shared, "He's not disappearing. He's just finally living." Song Yun's reaction, pure silence, pure love. While Song Yun hasn't publicly addressed his announcement yet, she did post a single photo hours after the interview aired. A Polaroid of Shu Kai asleep on the couch, their son resting on his chest, and her hand, barely visible, holding both of theirs. No caption. Just peace. And somehow, it said everything. The letter Shu Kai left on her pillow. According to a source close to the couple, on the night of his decision, Shu Kai left a handwritten note on Song Yun's pillow. It read, "For every script I turned down, I turned toward you. For every spotlight I walked away from, I stepped closer to us. I gave the world my talent. But I give you my time. Forever isn't a place. It's wherever you are." She kept it. Laminated it. And reportedly reads it whenever he's away, even briefly. What's next for Shu Kai? He isn't quitting the entertainment world entirely. Sources say he plans to start a small production house focused on family-centered projects, helping new actors, and creating documentaries that celebrate real-life stories of love, healing, and second chances. There's even talk of him writing a memoir, tentatively titled Still Her Home, that will chronicle his rise to fame, fall from grace, and how love saved him in the most unexpected way. One final scene that left everyone speechless. At the end of the interview, Shu Kai was asked what he wants most for his future. He looked off camera and whispered, "To be there when our daughter takes her first step." Then, with a smile that carried both pain and peace, he added, "The world clapped when I walked into fame. I just want her to clap when I walk through the front door." And with that, he stood up, removed his mic, and walked out not as a celebrity, but as a man going home. She makes me believe in tomorrow. Shu Kai reveals plans to retire early for family. Continuation, a decision that sparked tears, tension, and one final promise. When Shu Kai's emotional interview hit the screens, Fans across the world witnessed what many called the rarest kind of love, the kind that walks away from the spotlight to chase peace. But what no one knew at the time was that Songyun wasn't home when Shu Kai's interview aired. She was alone in a quiet hotel suite, preparing for a brand campaign, one of the last she agreed to shoot before slowing down for her pregnancy. She wasn't watching TV. She wasn't scrolling her phone. She had no idea her world was about to change again. The first message. It came from her stylist. Just a screenshot. No words. Shu Kai's face frozen on the screen, tears in his eyes, with the quote beneath. She makes me believe in tomorrow. So I'm giving her mine. She read it once. Then again. Then again. By the time the crew knocked on her door for the shoot, her hands were trembling. The call that broke her. Minutes later, Shu Kai called her. She didn't say hello. She didn't ask why he did it. She just whispered, voice already cracking, "Did you mean it?" And he, with nothing rehearsed, replied. Every second. Every syllable. Every breath. She couldn't speak. Not yet. Her heart was louder than her voice. She hung up, walked out of the hotel room barefoot, and told her team, "I'm going home." The unscripted return. Hours later, Shu Kai opened the front door of their home and there she was. Wearing no makeup. No stylist behind her. No cameras. Just her. Just Tan. She stepped in, dropped her bag, and without a word, pulled him into the longest hug they'd ever shared. And right there, in the dimly lit hallway, between walls that had heard their laughter, their arguments, their apologies, she broke down. "I thought you'd never choose me again," she said into his chest. His reply. "I didn't choose between you and the world. I chose the world I want to wake up in." Their son's unexpected reaction. Later that night, while the two tried to quietly process what had just unfolded, their son, now old enough to pick up on emotions, ran into the room in his pajamas. "Are we sad?" he asked, blinking. Songyun smiled and shook her head. "No, baby. We're not sad." Shu Kai pulled him into his arms. "We're just choosing happy." "Okay," their son said. "Because if we're happy, I want pancakes in the morning." They both laughed, and in that moment it was clear. The decision to walk away from the noise had brought them the peace they'd been searching for since the beginning. The industry reacts, mixed feelings, massive support. While fans flooded social media with admiration, not everyone in the industry was thrilled. Some insiders called his decision irresponsible or premature. A big-budget drama that had already locked Shu Kai for its lead role quietly scrubbed his name from upcoming press releases. Agencies whispered about him turning his back on legacy. But the people that mattered most, they stood by him. Famous director Wen Yifan wrote, "I've seen a lot of stars shine. Only a few walk away before they burn out. Shu Kai, you just became immortal in our hearts." And Songyun's longtime best friend posted. She once gave him a second chance. Now he gave her his entire future. A new vision, what comes after the curtain falls. Shu Kai isn't vanishing. Behind closed doors, he's already building something, a quiet creative space tucked into the outskirts of Hangzhou. A small, tree-lined studio where he plans to mentor new talent, produce heart-centered films, and build family stories that mirror his own journey. He even invited Songyun to co-write one with him. She laughed and replied, "Only if I get top billing." A gift she never expected. 2 days after his interview aired, Songyun received a package. No label. No signature. Inside was a leather-bound book titled, "To the Woman Who Made Me Dream Again." Inside, handwritten in Shu Kai's familiar scrawl, were pages of poems, letters, and journal entries written across the hardest months of their separation. Unsent. Unshared. Until now. One page read, "There were days I smiled on set and cried in the dark. There were nights I pretended I forgot the taste of your name. But my body always knew where home was. My feet always turned back toward you." One final surprise. A week later, the couple held a private family brunch to celebrate their next chapter. Just a few relatives. Their closest friends. At the end of the meal, Shu Kai stood up, tapped his glass, and smiled at everyone. "I'm not just retiring," he said. I'm restarting. Then he turned to Tan Songyun and, in front of the people who had watched them rise and fall and rise again, said, "Will you marry me again?" She gasped. He held out a small gold ring, simple, with their son's initials engraved inside it. Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. "Yes," she whispered, voice cracking. "Every time. Always yes." What comes next? Rumors now swirl that the couple plans to move to a coastal town, away from the city, where their daughter will be born under quieter skies. There's talk of a documentary in the works, not about their fame, but about their family. Fans wait, breathless, for a glimpse of Tan Songyun's growing belly, for the vows that will soon be renewed, for the peaceful days Shukai fought so hard to earn. Because in the end, this was never about walking away from success. It was about running arms wide open toward home.